Actually, when I worked on that letters of Tovshin Aleph from the Frierdiker Rebbe about the releasing of the Rebbe, the Hatzolah of the Rebbe, we saw several letters that we didn't really understand what happened then. Some of the telegrams was sent to someone by the name Avram. Last name was Avram. He was in Nice, and the telegrams went through him to the Rebbe. And we didn't quite understand what he's doing in Nice and not in Paris, and then in Vichy, and then in Marseille. We didn't really understand it. As the Rebbe told us then, that in every volume should be an introduction, a movie, describing all the special events of that year according to the letters. But I had a whole chapter on the Hatzolah of the Rebbe, but I couldn't make out a straight story of it. So then I decided to try to speak to the Rabbitson about it. Maybe she'll tell me, maybe she'll answer some of the questions. I was very skeptical on that, since, as we knew, that the Rabbitson is very not like to be public. She would not like people to ask questions about her personal life. And here I'm going to ask her about her and the Rebbe's personal life so many years ago, in a period that was hidden from us. But I still tried. She was then on Shabbos with the Rebbe in the library. My office in the library then, Friday in the morning, I would clean it out completely, and the room was prepared for the Rebbetzin to accept some people, some guests. So I decided to come to her that evening, Friday night, and to discuss it with her. I expected she wouldn't like to talk to me about it, but I told her, it's not my curiosity. It is only that I'm working on the letters of the Frierdiker Rebbe, and I'm working on the introduction, and there I have a chapter about the release of the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin from France, and I'm all confused there. So if she could enlighten me on what happened there. She was so glad to hear the questions, and she told me the whole story, starting when the Rebbe was in the age of still in the army, and he registered as a soldier from France for him to make easier to travel in Paris. They shouldn't take him away. And then it helped him to travel when the Germans arrived to Paris, to travel together with the Rabbitson to Vichy. That was still less danger. It wasn't just for him to travel. He had with him a whole collection of Kisveyat Kedesh of the Rabbeim. He had with him a whole collection of the copies that he copied, all the Maimorim Ksaviyat Kedesh of the Rebbe Rashab, all the Kisveyat Kedesh of the letters of the Rebbe Rashab, the collection of the Frierdiker Rebbe. So when he was in Riga, he copied everything and he had it in a full suitcase. He had all the Rishimas that we know later of. He had the Matones, the Sforim that he received on the Chasana. Several suitcases of most important and holy items. And he was supposed to travel in the train, in the squeezed train, running away with all the people from Paris. He had this card that he is registered as a soldier, and that helped him. So he ran away Erev Shavuos from Paris when the Germans arrived to Paris, and they went till they reached Vichy. But they reached Vichy on the Shkia of Shavuos, and still from the train station till the hotel is a long way. Not only they couldn't walk so far, but they couldn't carry all the suitcases too, and all these holy suitcases. They took a guy that had a horse and a wagon. They put all the suitcases on the horse, on the wagon. The Rabbitson herself couldn't walk such a far distance till the hotel, so she also sat with the non-Jew on the wagon, carrying the balagola. The Rebbe didn't want to go on the wagon. He wanted to go by foot all the long way. So everything was on the wagon. She tells me I couldn't walk. He walked, and the wagon and the horses went slow. He should be able to keep up till they reached the hotel. So that's how she told me, and then she tells me how it was there dangerous for the Nazis occupation till they felt that it's more safe to go to Nice. They went from there to Nice. Then she tells me that it was difficult before Pesach that year. They couldn't get matzah in Paris, in France. And the first year, Chof Ches, the Frierdiker Rebbe arranged they should send them a special shipment of matzah from Israel. But this year wasn't possible. How did he get the matzah? She tells me that he had a friend called Bezborodke. He was a specialist on mirrors, and he was working for the army. And the Rebbe found out that he has to go to Zurich to get some material for these mirrors. So the Rebbe spoke to him and told him if he gets there, if he could speak to someone to get matzahs, a pack of matzahs to bring from there, because Zurich was still not under the Nazi occupation. He spoke to Schmerling, he brought him a bag of matzahs, and some of it the Rebbe himself ate, and some of them he gave to other acquaintances that didn't have any matzahs for the Seder. So she told me the whole story. And the whole story I incorporated into the movie of the Igres Kedesh of Chelek Vov, of Chelek Hey. I couldn't mention where I know this, because I know that the Rebbetzin is so running away from publicity, living her own life, and she wouldn't want me to write that she told me these stories. So I just told the story as I know it from Ruach HaKodesh. But the whole story is there.